Hello, so today we are going to start a Scarecrow collage. So you're going to get a blue piece of paper, you're going to write your name and the day you have our day A, day B, day C. You're going to flip it over and we are going to draw a horizon line with a Sharpie and a fence and then a couple of other details. So I'm going to take and I'm going to draw a horizon line. Your horizon line can be arched, it can be straight, it can be wavy. You want it on the top half of your paper. Then across the horizon line, you're going to draw some tall, skinny rectangles. They kind of look like French fries. These are going to be the posts of the fence that's going to go across the back. Then we're going to connect them with two slats of wood. So you're going to do two lines for one slat, and then two more for a second slat. You can make it look like maybe the fence is broken if you'd like. You can add a moon, a full moon, or a crescent moon. You can add a bird or cat sitting on the fence. I'm going to add a cat. You might want to draw this in pencil first. And I don't have black crayons in construction paper, so I know I want my cat to be black. So I'm just going to color it in with Sharpie. Now the only thing I want you to do, color in is the moon and the fence. Now the construction paper crayons show up on this dark blue paper. That's why I like them so much. Regular brown crayon would not show up this bright and vibrant. So I'm going to take a minute, color in my fence and my moon. I'll come back to you. Okay, so now we're going to do our scarecrow up front. It's like a scarecrow portrait, so we're only going to see his head and his hat and just a little bit of his shoulders. So you are going to start with an oval tracer and a yellow piece of paper. You're going to take your pencil, you're going to trace around the oval with your pencil. When you remove the oval shape, that should be the same shape that's here. You're going to cut this out. You're not going to glue it down, you're just going to cut it out. And then the other tracer you're going to get is a hat and a tan paper. You're going to trace around this. You're going to cut this out. All right, so we are going to want to put the face of our scarecrow kind of in the center of the blue paper from top to bottom, and then the hat goes on top. And I actually did a really nice job getting my cat way over to one side so that I had enough room and my hat didn't cover up any small detail. If that happens to you, you could always add some more on these sides if that happens. So this is about where I want my scarecrow's face to be. That face is in the middle, top to bottom, and the hat on top. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the hat. I'm going to pick the dry glue off the tip of my glue, open it up. I'm going to put a frame of glue on my scarecrow's face, flip it over, right in the middle, top to bottom. Then I'm going to take my hat, frame of glue for my hat. And I'm going to overlap the top of the head. It sticks off the blue paper, so I could pull this down a little bit. Or you can let your hat stick up off the blue paper. It's okay with me what you choose to do. All right, so now we're going to start to add some details. We're going to add the shoulders of our scarecrow and some other details on the face and the hat. So I'm going to start, first thing I'm going to do is draw the body. So The body is going to be 2 curved lines that go down from the head down to the bottom of the blue paper. Now here, I'm going to start to add some grass texture. So I'm going to get my Sharpie back out and I'm going to add some grass texture. I'm going to add a pumpkin running off my paper. Add some more. I'm going to add a bigger pumpkin down here because it's closer to us. All right. And while I'm waiting for this glue to dry so I don't mess up my Sharpie marker, I'm going to use the 2 greens that we have. We have a dark green and a light green. I'm going to use the dark green to go over the texture that I drew with the Sharpie. I'm going to use brown for the stems of the pumpkin and orange for the pumpkins. And then I'm going to use this light yellow green to fill in the grass from here down, just alongside of my Scarecrow. And I want to color neatly, so I don't want to get back and color on top of this hat. I just want to color the blue, so I'm just going to do my best not to get this light green on the yellow or the hat. I'm not pressing really hard. I just want to give some of this blue paper a little bit of green to it. Okay. All right, so now I'm ready to do my Scarecrow shirt. If I have a really big glue mess, I would probably want you to let this dry on the drying rack and come back on another day, but let's just see how it's going. So I'm going to use the chisel tip marker to do the outer edge of my Scarecrow. It gives it a nice, bright, vibrant, thick line that grabs your eye. And then I'm going to use Sharpie to add a patch because we know Scarecrows get old clothes to wear. So I'm going to add a patch. Maybe add another one over here. And then I am going to add some straw sticking out the bottom of his face. So I'm going to take my Sharpie, try not to touch the yellow, just draw some straight lines, slightly curved lines to show straw. And I'm going to do color in his shirt. I'm going to do a plaid color because oftentimes you see Scarecrows in plaid shirts. So plaid shirts have lines that go up and down. So I'm going to take and use this pink color to go up and down on the shirt. I'm going to set that there because I'm going to use it again, and I think I'm going to use this purple, and I'm going to do another line next to the pink. Then I'm going to go across because that's what plaid does. Plaid goes across, so I'm going to go pink. And then I'm going to use some yellow to add the straw coming out the bottom. Scarecrows are filled with straw because it's cheap and easy, and it's good outside. Okay, so now I'm ready to do the detail on the face and the hat. So let's add some straw sticking out of the top of the hat, like it looks like he has maybe some hair. So we're going to draw some curved lines sticking out the bottom of the hat, and then we're going to get that yellow crayon, and it's going to look like straw. We want it to look, the straw to kind of look like hair sticking out. Okay, now we're going to use that chisel tip again, and we're going to use the diagonal of it so that we get a thick line. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to follow the inside of your hat. So notice how I turn my paper as I'm going, because that's easier and it helps me to keep it more neat looking. So that's the only thing I want you to do. See how bold that thick line is? It really makes your scarecrow stand out. So that's the only parts that we're going to use this chisel tip. I'm going to go back to regular Sharpie, and right along the top of the brim of the hat, I'm going to draw a band or a ribbon that goes across, so 2 lines. That's the band that goes around. And then I'm going to draw some texture, some woven texture for a straw hat. And the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to do 2 lines going up, 2 lines going to the side, 2 lines going up, 2 lines going to the side, 2 lines going up, 2 lines going to the side. Now I could go all the way across and fill this whole hat, but I don't need to. So now I'm going to do another row, but maybe I don't make this row go as far. Maybe I just have it a little bit shorter. So here the lines are going up, so above it I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to go 2 lines going across, 2 lines going up, 2 lines going across, 2 lines going up, 2 lines going across. Then 2 lines going up, 2 lines going across. And this just creates the illusion and shows our viewer that this is a woven straw hat. Okay, so I feel like that's enough straw hat. I'm going to color in the band. All right, so final last step is to do the face. So using my Sharpie marker, I'm going to draw 2 circle eyes. And it's okay if they're not perfect. Remember that a scarecrow's made of leftovers. Old clothes nobody wants, buttons sometimes for the eyes that popped off shirts that they no longer have. So I'm going to do 2 circle eyes. I'm going to imagine that these are like patches that the farmer's wife sewed onto the scarecrow to make it look like a person. The nose is going to be a triangle, also sewn on. And then a sewn on mouth. And then some smile, some happy cheeks. These should be smaller than the eyes. And then to help our viewer know what they are, we're going to color them in. Darker orange. And there you have our finished Scarecrow collage, just in time for the fall weather.